Chainsaw, 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 chainsaw.
Okay, Daddy.
Well, that was recorded. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Lads Can Read. This time, the new up-and-coming manga, Chainsawman, chapters 1 through 5. I'm your first host, Lucas.
I'm Connor.
And I'm your handsome buddy, Morris.
So, genuine question. Are we just establishing it's okay to lie to our listeners?
It's the internet.
Shh. They don't have to know.
Don't ruin the immersion, Connor.
For real. This is...
It's an illusion, Michael.
We're creating an artificial world for our listeners where life is good and not painful. Just for the listeners at home, this is our third attempt at recording, and each one has gotten darker.
I think it's our fourth attempt.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll keep.
Anyways,
all right,
let's
get
jump into it. So this was my idea to have me and the lads read Chainsaw Man because I read the first 20 or so chapters when it first started coming out. I caught up to where the series was and then kind of forgot about it, but I've heard it only gets better from there. So I thought it would be something that kind of fits all of our style. So that's why we are here today reading the first 5 chapters. And yeah, just to be clear, I've read these before. Neither of you guys had, right?
No.
Correct.
So yeah, let's just jump on in. What do you guys think?
Denji's a little bit of a weirdo.
Don't you love him though?
I like him. I think that this, we'll talk more about it when we start talking about the plot, but this manga changes tone very, very quickly.
It really flips back and forth between very dark and just straight comedy, and I really like it in that sense.
I'll have to read more of it to see if I like it, but it's definitely unique.
And I didn't even think about this because I sent you guys both fake or free fan translated stuff, and I read the official Viz version, and I didn't even think about the comedy might hit different depending on how good the translation is, because I thought mine was hilarious, but depending on how it was worded and stuff, you guys might not have been as good.
Well, I'll read you a paragraph after we get done talking about the first couple of chapters, and we can compare and contrast.
That's a good plan. That's a good plan. But yeah, let's just start looking. So we start with this nice color spread of Denji talking about, selling one of his balls.
Eyeballs.
No, his testicle.
Both, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so Denji...
Oh, we did sell testicle. I missed that.
He's had a hard life because as we learn after, seeing him kill this demon and stuff, his dad died, or I think killed himself, and left him this debt. And so he basically does anything he can to make some money, most of which is killing demons with this little chainsaw dog.
Okay,
Also,
first question. How inflated is the monetary system in this world? Because he makes $60,000 a month cutting trees.
Wait. What do you mean? It's yen, so move the zero over. So he makes $600.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot that it would be in yen automatically. Yeah.
Gosh, you're not even a real weeb. That's basic. Yeah, you played Pokemon. You have to figure that out from playing Pokemon.
Pokemon is not in yen. It's in its own weird currency, isn't it?
It's in Poke, but that's why the numbers are so big, because it's based off yen. That's why a Pokeball costs
weird
$500, because it's actually more like $5.
so one character I want to talk about we see this man with a long white beard, and we learn that the father died with a lot of debt, and the son, what's the main character's name again?
Denji.
Benji.
Thank you. We learn that Denji inherited this debt, and at one point in time, this man tells him, beg, pour yourself out, do whatever you need to make money. I don't care. But if you don't, we're going to start selling your parts. Can we talk about how base this man is?
He's
Yeah, 'cause
definitely
they
a
don't fuck
libertarian
around.
icon.
Yeah, because
I'm sad that we don't see more of him.
Well, we see him get sawed into a billion pieces.
That is a lot of pieces of him.
Yeah. But I really like this relationship established early on that like these guys have nothing. They can't even imagine what it's like to eat butter with bread, but still they're like best friends and happy to make it by.
Well, I like the line in the beginning where he's like, I'm content with dreaming. All I want to do is dream. And then when he does fight the demons, like, the thing that upsets him the most is that they interrupted that dream that he and his pet shared.
Yes. So we can scoot ahead a little bit, but we just get to this point where they're like, well, Denji, you're not worth it to us anymore, so we're gonna finish you off, and he's just dead.
Don't they say something along the lines of like, we like you because you'll do anything for us, you'll beg like a dog, and I don't like the smell of dogs, or something like that, and then they just put him down.
Yep, they just stab him. Well, because the actual reason, as we see on the next page, is that he made a deal with what he thinks is a much stronger demon in the form of the zombie devil.
Right.
And
Sorry, Connor, you were saying something before I interrupted you.
I don't remember, but it's no big deal.
Dang.
But so we get the Zambos. They chase him down, they chop him up, and well, I guess the manga's over.
That was a fun read.
But then we get Denji's blood saving little Pochita. Can we just talk about how cute Pochita is for a sec?
He's an absolute lad. They're gonna make so much merch of that poor little guy.
He's like a little potato with eyes and a chainsaw.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
I love him so much. But then we get this nice little dream sequence of Pochita and him talking, and Pochita saying how much he cares about him and how he's gonna save him.
That's pretty sus by my guy. I'm not gonna lie.
What, you think Pochita's evil?
No, it's just kind of gay that he's like, I'm gonna save you.
Dude, he's a dog. He's man's best friend. Of course he's gonna save his best friend. And all he wants to do is have Denji show him his dreams.
I want to
That's
show you
beautiful.
my dreams.
No,
I don't want to see your dreams.
good. Okay, but anyway.
That's kind of rude.
I'm
No.
sorry, Connor. I feel like they would frighten and confuse me.
Yeah, I feel like they'd be very
Sexually?
dark.
My dreams aren't that
Yes.
dark.
Sexually, mentally,
I feel,
religiously.
honestly, I feel like Lucas would simp like Denji, confessing that he likes the girl almost immediately.
Okay, we need to. I had a feeling this would just devolve into calling Denji a simp, which is so unfair because like he has lived such this hard life. He's never like talked to a woman, let alone like had a relationship. He's never had buttered toast. Like
Buttered toast.
that's how sad his life is. So it totally makes sense that he'd fall for like the first person to like give him any contact.
Hey, Lucas, hey, Morris, you know what it sounds like?
It sounds like he's a simp.
Sounds like he's defending sim tendencies.
God,
It sounds like Lucas is projecting because he too is a simp.
There's nothing wrong with being a simp. It's just
okay.
Just the nature of the beast.
The beast of a simp or the beast of man or the beast of woman? Who's the beast here?
Yes.
I see.
all right. What else do you want to cover?
Well, Denji's got like a little ripcord in his chest now. That looks uncomfortable.
Other thing I wanted to talk about. So this girl who finds Dingy, and she says, "Hey, I'm going to make you my pet. You're going to work for me." And Dingy
Real
confesses
kinky.
that he likes her, and she says, "Oh, I like a guy like you." Do you guys think that she's being at all sincere, or do you think that she's 100% playing him?
She's definitely mostly
him.
playing him, but I think there's a level of sincerity here.
What do you think, Connor?
I think it's all playing. All playing.
Well, we'll talk about it more when in episode 2 when we do chapters 6 through 10. But I know there's a line where she says like, she says something along the lines of, "I have a new pet that I'm really interested in," or something. And then they call her out. They're like, "You can't get too involved with these
Attached.
like, yeah,
They're gonna
exactly."
die. Yeah, like they're basically just there to die is the mentality approached by whatchamacallit.
Yeah, I forget what the organization's called, but so yeah,
The
Makima's
Bureau.
our second big, well, our third big character. But we didn't really say so. I really like that Pochita, he didn't like sacrifice himself to save Denji, but like he's literally alive inside him acting as his heart. I think that's a pretty cool gimmick.
I agree.
Yeah,
I like that
so
too.
is like is maybe you guys can explain it a little bit better to me. So Denji is he human or is he devil, or because like we can go into it more as they introduce the other characters like in this group, but it seems like they're all, you know, what fine line does he walk and does another one of the characters walk that keeps them from being not devil but also not human, you know what I mean?
So they're
So
all
my interpretation, and Lucas, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the difference was that the little potato dog, Pochita, he
He's a
kind
straight
of
up demon.
yeah, he's a demon, but he's occupying his body, right? Like you need a heart to pump, you need a heart to live, and Pochita's basically acting as his life support. Now we see these other people who are possessed by demons, and I think the biggest difference is that they've taken over their hosts' minds. So whereas they are no longer in control and are completely at the whim of whatever the demon wants, here it seems like Pochita's like mentally he's still there, or not Pochita. Damn it,
Denji.
I keep forgetting the human character.
Yeah, Denji.
Denji.
Dingy, thank you. It feels like mentally he's there. He just needs Pochita for life support now that his heart's gone.
Yeah, I think you totally got it, Morris. Because
Okay, but like
wait,
we'll get to that later, but there's another character where like, you know, you find out like they're in a similar spot kind of thing.
so Morris is right. Denji's like a special case that no one's ever seen before, where Denji, like his consciousness, his person is totally human, but like with Pochita inside of him, and when he pulls that ripcord, he's like using Pochita's powers, and so, but technically because he's demony at all, Makima's totally within her like legal right as part of their association to kill him, but that's kind of her thing, like you were saying with the other people they've seen, like she picks up these people who have affiliations with demons but could still be useful, and since Denji still has his whole humanity, he's useful to them. But yeah, no one, as far as we know, there's no one like Denji. And we can
Okay.
yeah, we can skip ahead, so because the second chapter is just kind of like Denji saving that girl, killing their demon, realizing that what's his face is still alive. Denji getting to eat noodles.
This kind of reminded me. There were parts of this, like the second chapter, and a little bit later too, where it kind of reminded me of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures in that they'll introduce a stand and just briefly tell you their powers and just expect you to be on board with it. And I got kind of similar vibes, and they were like, "This is a blood demon, and this is a muscle demon." It's like, well, I guess now I need to know what this is.
Well, it's hard because the big explanation for how demons work, I think it's in like chapter 6 or 7, right, Morris?
Oh,
Or,
okay.
sorry,
I didn't get that far.
because we're not quite there. Well, I can skip ahead.
Kinda. That's where my question comes from. Is like you say he's the only case, but like a character that we know proves that he's not. Basically, you know what I mean?
So that is different. So let's go ahead. So we got let's talk
But
about
that's
chapter
past
3.
where we want to read today. Let's just get to chapter 3. Yeah.
Power shows up in 5, but we can talk about that. But so we get our Sasuke character in chapter 3. We get, what's his name? Aki Hayakawa. Sorry, it was spaced out weird on my page. What are your guys' thoughts on him?
Doesn't seem that bad. Honestly. Seems real edgy, but like it seems like Sasuke. He has reasons to be annoyingly edgy.
Well, I think
Where
it kind
Sasuke's
of,
just like, I'm gonna kill everybody.
I think it makes sense to have like a straight man with Denji being the idiot he is. Like,
Well, and it's a little weird too because you read the first chapter and he talks about, how he's had to sell body parts and, how before he's been on the verge of like prostituting himself and like all these awful, awful things. And you read that and you assume that he's going to be kind of like the tortured straight man, and then he isn't. I feel like in the second and third chapter, he becomes a lot more of not comic relief, but kind of a similar role. You know what I mean?
he's very lighthearted for how terrible his life has been. I think it's kind of like those people who say they're nihilists but are like really happy because anything positive that happens to them is like a surprise because
Their life's just been so ass.
they have such low standards. Yeah, like Denji's been living a terrible life, and now one, he's got all his organs back. Two, his best bud is like his heart now, and he has him all the time. And three, he has this girl who he likes, and he gets food now. This man can just eat now, which is a revelation.
He does have.
To him.
And now that this has come
He's
up,
got
is it all right if I
corn dogs
read
now.
is it all right if I read a paragraph from it? Because there's one part that I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So at this point, like he's living with, this guy and he has what he wants. And now he's stopped and he has the time to kind of reflect what it is that he really wants. Like, I've gotten this far. What is it that I truly want? And this is what he says. He says, I'm doing my best here, Pochita. I'm following the contract and living a good life. Like a damn dream, ain't I? I already have a dream come true. He's still on my case. I can shower every day, eat tasty food. There's a hot lady nearby, too. Already a perfect 100 on my life, but it feels like something's missing. Was there something else? A bigger goal than that? He's got some kind of revenge deal. Those guys are protecting their families. Does Makima have something else, too? Makima. I want to feel some tits.
I love his motivation. That's what we're gonna get into in a bit, but
He's so great because he's achieved everything he ever dreamed of when he was like living his old life. So now he's just setting these like small scale realistic goals, like just want to touch some boobs.
that's
Well,
all.
what I like about it is you read the first chapter and you assume his motivation is going to be, how do I survive this horrific situation? Kind of like when Rick Grimes wakes up in The Walking Dead. It's like, oh God, everything is awful. How am I going to survive? And now he's kind of become like Don Quixote or Rick Sanchez, where it turns out, his goal is just this really absurd thing. It's like fighting a windmill or obtaining Szechuan sauce.
No, I love it. Denji's just so great. Like he's such an entertaining character. I love how like I think you could really fairly say like the lovable idiot is like a very or like just being stupid is like a common trait of shonen protagonists. But Denji's like a different kind of stupid. Like with your Naruto's and your Luffy's, they're like, oh, he acts dumb, but like in battle, he's a genius and he like actually is really quick on thinking and stuff. No, Denji's just really stupid.
Mhm.
Well, what I like about him too.
That's like that's pretty par for the course when it comes to um hello Lucas.
Yeah, you cut out for a sec.
Like Morris did, right?
Yeah, but I think we're good now. But you were saying it's kind of par for the course. Are you there, Connor?
Yeah, I'm there. I wasn't talking. Morris was the one talking, and he's silent for me. He's muted.
Yeah, I think he's just muted right now because we were waiting for you to talk because we didn't hear what you were saying.
No, I wasn't saying anything. Morris was the one in the sentence.
Oh, my bad, guys. No, I was waiting for you, Connor.
No, I didn't have anything to add there. I mean, the only thing I wanted to add is it was just the fact that the fact that the main character is a pervert is pretty par for the course when it comes to these shows.
Well,
You know what I
one thing
mean?
I was gonna say that I kind of appreciate about it, and I hope that this doesn't let me down, but I remember watching Seven Deadly Sins once with a date, and I thought that the main character there was way too pervy. Like, he was groping her and stuff like that. Like, kind of. I don't want to say this because it's a little far borderline rapey, and that's not a character who I want to watch or root for. I feel like this guy, like, he's pervy, but I don't think he's gone too far yet. And maybe I've just had bad experience with anime, but that's something that I like about him so far.
There's some anime and manga and like just general Japanese media that sometimes you go like, who is this character supposed to relate to because they're just like a gross pervert.
It's like, I feel like it's like the American equivalent of like Peter Griffin, where you've created such a bad guy that nobody wants to, or I guess it's like Quagmire. There's some sexual deviancy that's funny, but once you start getting into, I don't want to dwell too far on this because I don't want to ruin the mood.
Quagmire. Well, and the thought with Quagmire just sucks as a character, especially since they've tried to make him more serious too. Like he's just a terrible person, and then he's also just the corrections they've tried to make to him are also just too like they're trying too hard to make him PC, and it's like, okay, Family Guy also just isn't a great show, period. But whatever.
Yes, no, but I get what you guys are saying. But yeah, I think Denji's like, I don't know. He feels, despite having traits that like you see in other anime characters, I feel like he's got a unique outlook and like a unique way of being, Because like he really is just happy to be there. Like he's living every day to the fullest because he never thought he'd
He's
be
just glad he can enjoy it. Poor dog.
for real. Okay, but so in my scrolling through the pages, I just got to the end of chapter 4, to the introduction of one of my favorite characters in the whole series. We have Power showing up. What are you guys' thoughts on Power?
Absolute waifu, and I'm excited to see how she turns out in the anime
Oh, that's gonna be great.
because I totally see her. Like, okay, I guess we can talk about this in a different when the anime starts. But like the dub voices, I can already kind of tell who they're gonna go for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I don't know how her dialogue's formatted for you guys, but I just love her introduction of, hey, grovel, human. My name is Power.
That is a pretty alpha way to make an entrance.
I also love this will happen a couple more times, and there's some even better ones. But I just love how quick like sex appeal can change Denji's mind, where he goes from "Wait, you're a fiend? Fiends can be devil hunters," and then cut to her boobs, and then well, whatever. Looking forward to working with you.
Yeah, Denji's a pervert. I just that's all.
But he's so honest about it. Like
Okay, but yeah, like like I was saying, it's a common trope for them to be honest about being perverts.
That's true.
And
That's
it's
true.
like Morris was saying, like if they walk that fine line where it's like just enough degeneracy that it's funny, but it can go from funny to like dumb real quick.
I think you guys
Funny
are
to
gonna.
creepy.
I think you guys are gonna like where it goes because it's
I don't,
handled.
who knows? I don't know.
I think it's kind of handled as it goes on more maturely than you'd expect. But we'll talk about that when we get there. For now, let's just enjoy Power being on screen because she's the best.
Power is definitely your waifu, isn't she?
I mean, Makima's fine, but Power's just so entertaining how she like thinks humans suck and talks about how cool she is. Like she's hilarious.
Well, humans do suck according
Well,
to demons.
well, what I like about Power, too, is that she's in a position where if she screws up, like they're going to kill her, right? Like they don't, really value demon lives that much. So when she makes an entrance, she acts big and tough, and it's groveled humans, and it's blood, 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 and it's this huge display. But as soon as she is threatened by our main girl, she's throwing Dingy under the bus and just lying through her teeth to save herself. And I thought that was the funny part about her. Like she reminds me of like the little like younger cousin that like is always like trying to annoy you and trying to pick a fight until like someone snaps and like runs at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really love the dynamic between Power and Denji because normally you either have like the stupid girl character and like the straight man guy who's like, oh, she's so crazy, or you have the stupid main character and like the smart like older sister type girl character who like keeps him in line. But you just have this duo of bumbling idiots who's blaming each other, and Makima's just like, you guys, I love you
Yeah,
both.
I don't know if
You
it's in
suck.
chapter 5, but Makima really put like I don't think it's in chapter 5. I think it's in 6 or 7. But Makima really put the two of them on patrol together and expected things to go well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know what's his face set him up for failure like that. Like whatever his name is, the the Sasuke kind of boy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
But yeah.
I think it's more. It seems like Power's been around for a little bit, so I think it's more her way of testing Denji to see how he handles being around someone as volatile as Power.
So question is Chainsaw Man over? Is the manga over?
So, from what I heard, it part one ended at 100 chapters, and then part two is happening not in like regular Shonen Jump, but like in Jump Plus, so like slightly different. I don't know. We're not gonna
You have
be
to
there
pay
for
more
a
to get
while.
it.
Probably. I mean, probably
I
not
don't know. I
rushed.
could if I got motivated, I could easily catch up in like a day.
Yeah, but if we're reviewing it 5 chapters at a time, you can't do that.
Well, you're stupid.
I mean, fair. But yeah, so that's about as far as we got. We get that interaction with Makima kind of scolding them but saying she expects a lot from him. And then we get Denji. You can like see the like two gears that make up Denji's brain start to move at the end of this chapter of like, wait, if I save this cat, I get to touch boobs. And then he goes on his whole like justice streak of like, that's unforgivable. As a devil hunter, I can't let him get away with it. And I don't know what it translated for you guys, but Denji's last line in chapter 5 for me is, I'll murderize that devil.
I think that maybe what mine is. Let me pull up my translate. find my translation. Check real quick. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it so
Mine
far.
says I'll fucking murder that devil, but I prefer Murder Eyes.
Yeah, it's way better.
100%. 100%.
But yeah, so
Yeah, I'll fucking murder that devil.
it is hard to judge a manga by the first 5 chapters because way more than an anime, like manga can turn on a dime in terms of theme, in terms of setting, in terms of pace. So like it's hard to say for sure now, but just like what are your thoughts so far?
I don't know. I've read a little bit ahead, so I'm not quite sure, but I can definitely tell it's gonna be the ones where people really dig the fucking anime representations. So those ones that gets randomly real big.
I hope so. I don't know. It's being animated by Mappa, who are I think I said it earlier, but like they've done some really good stuff, but they've also done like some of the totally CG anime, and like they're doing the new Attack on Titan where all the Titans are CGI, and I'm worried the like really
Oh.
sick looking Chainsaw Man scenes, instead of being like super gory fancy blood stuff, is going to be like Berserk 2016 levels CGI Denji going around with really bad blood spray effects, you know?
Yeah, I could see that happening.
I don't think it will, because
When
it's a
is the
shonen.
anime supposed to come out?
I think next summer, maybe. It like just got announced.
Who
so it
know?
could be a while.
Who knows with COVID? You know how screwed things are for a while.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think they'll, as a like normally anime or like manga in Shonen Jump, they like pull out all the stops for, because it could be big, it could be a cash cow. But we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know. Are you guys thinking we'll go on? We'll continue this series and go on to the next 5 chapters?
Yeah,
I'm definitely
maybe.
down to read another 5 chapters.
Yeah. So look forward to that soon. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys wanted to cover out of these? Oh, you
I
wanted
think
to talk about the difference between Power and Denji.
No, okay. So that wasn't where I'm confused. I understand that Power is a devil, more devil man, but we can talk about it more when his power is revealed because Morris doesn't know it yet. But what is the difference between Denji and the character that comes in and helps clean up the fight that Denji finds himself in to get the cat back?
Yeah, I got you.
That's the same idea and premise, correct?
It's similar, but I guess the big difference is he, like, if you like looked at his body and everything, he is totally human. He just has a contract. He has a contract with the devil, but that devil does not exist as part of him. Whereas Denji, like you said, they both made contracts. Denji also made a contract with the devil, but he then fused with that devil. So that's why his situation is unique, you know?
Okay.
They are very similar though. Whereas Power is a fiend, which means she is a devil that has taken over a human body.
Interesting. Okay.
One thing I wanted to mention that really made me laugh. Who else watched the fight scene between Denji and his edgy friends and got strong Bobby Hill vibes?
Like it. I mean,
I
Denji.
only go for the balls.
Oh, that was so good.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
It's so perfect.
Can we start watching King of the Hill again, Morris?
Can we? I
'Cause
mean,
I feel like
I think
half our quotes came from King of the Hill, and we don't have anything to quote. What are we doing with ourselves?
that's true.
What
That's
are
true.
we? But
And I think I'm glad that we took a break from King of the Hill, because it was nice to watch like American Dad and like It's Always Sunny. But I'm definitely ready for some more King of the Hill.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I agree. King of the Hill's a great series.
100%. 100%.
If we can do a retrospective on King of the Hill, that'd be sick.
I'd be down.
Well, that's been this week's episode of The Lads Can Read King of the Hill, chapters 1 through 5.
This is Morris's. I know we haven't covered it, but like, this is Morris's debut episode on
The Lads Can Read. Yeah, this is proving that Morris
The
can
Lads
read.
Can Read.
Now
He's
our
getting
audience
there.
knows I can read.
We had him use the Bob books for a little bit, like we talked about in the one episode. But Morris immediately isn't going to pop into the next like 3 Lads Can Read because we'll be doing the next 2 will be My Hero related.
Yeah. And that's too advanced.
Once I realized the girl with the frog tongue wasn't the main character, I wasn't interested.
Sue is a waifu.
No, Suru got ruined for me after that chapter where she's like, "But you guys broke the rules, so you're as bad as villains who rape and murder people."
Oh, she did say that. I forgot about that. She's like, okay, well, that's a whole new tangent that we can go on while criticizing My Hero. But yeah, it's been a good episode of The Lads Can Read. It's weird. It'll be weird finding our pacing for this, going forward, just because, with the 2 of us, it's like the back and forth, but obviously we'll have, with more stuff to find the new kind of pace for all 3 of us talking. But I think I like overall, guys.
Yeah, well, and the software we've been using to record crashed 4 times in the process of making this, but well, live and learn.
Yeah.
But on that note, I think we'll end this episode of The Lads Can Read. As always, feel free to comment if there's any manga you want us to check out or anything, or if you just want to criticize our bad opinions, that's welcome too. But until next time,
I've been Connor.
I am forever Morris.
I'm clinically depressed. Goodbye.
Oh.